Hello and welcome back to Big Fish Little Fish Aquatics. So today we've got a L134, which is a Leopard Frog Pleco or Peckoltia Compta, arriving today to go in with the two which are in this aquarium here. So let's get to this. So it's morning in the cabin. All the fish are switched off, apart from the Leopard Frog Plecos and the Peckoltia Compta. So what we're going to do quickly is get my quarantine tank ready to go for the new 134 which is arriving. So we set up this tank which is right next to the crab tank. You can see one of the crabs here. So we set up this tank here as a quarantine, so it's bare bottom at the moment, nothing in there. There's a few snails after I shut the tank down, and you can see at the back we've got one of the sponge filters running, but obviously without a sponge. And I've just had this running for a couple of days. It's got pure clean RO water, so it's been remineralized for the fish in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a sponge ready to go in, which is cycled. You can see on here there's a dual sponge. So we're essentially going to take off one of these sponges, replace it with a fresh one, and then put that sponge, one of the used sponges, on here, so this tank is fully cycled and ready to go for the new Pleco. Okay, so we've got the filter on. Now there's just one more thing we need to do just to get this ready for the new fish, and that is just pick some ornaments or decorations for the fish to hide in. It's only going to be one fish, so I don't think I'm going to go too wild. What I'm probably going to do is take two of these and one of these wave plates, and that should be enough. So we're just going to pop these in. I'm going to keep them close to the front. You've got to remember, the whole point of a quarantine aquarium is so that you can monitor the fish. You want to be able to make sure that it's healthy, it's doing okay. So I'm going to keep these quite close to the front so I can actually see the fish in there. Okay, so here's the new fish. Unfortunately the bag is leaking, so I'm going to have to do just a plop and drop. It should be a female, that's what I've asked for, so maybe when I get out of the bag I should be able to tell. It doesn't seem to have any issues. There seems to be a lump on its pectoral fin here, so that's a definite reason why we quarantine, so I could be able to monitor that closely. But let's get the fish in. Okay, yeah, so if you watched my videos before, when I catch out my plecos, I always use my hands. It's a much safer transport method than using a net. Just gonna get a good look and then pop her straight in. So I've popped her straight in, so she's probably going to be a little bit shocked at first. There was a lump on her left pectoral fin, so while she's in quarantine I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that. Unfortunately she's had to be plopped and dropped. As I mentioned, the bag was leaking, and it would have proved no benefit for putting her in with that in the here, because her water would have just started to leak into this tank, and it wouldn't have helped with the acclimation anyway. She's been sent overnight, so sometimes it's always easier just to get them straight in. Normally what I would do is just temperature acclimate, but hopefully this won't be too much of a shock for her. So we'll turn off the lights, and then I'll come back later and we'll see how she's doing. Okay, so it's the next morning, and she's doing just fine. She seems to like sitting underneath the heater. You can see actually it's quite white even from when I'm zoomed out, but if I zoom in you can see that lump on her left pectoral fin. So I'm going to have to really keep my eye on that. It might be where she's grazed it and she's got a bit of fungus on there or something like that. So it's a real reason why you just have to be so vigilant and make sure that you do quarantine your fish, because if I introduced her to my existing Leopard Frog Pleco tank, then she could have, if it is something pretty nasty, infected the fish. So yeah, she looks like she's doing really well. I'm going to give her some food today to try and fatten her up, because she is quite thin, or thinner than I'd like my Plecos to be. So we're going to start working on getting her to a nice fighting weight, and she'll be in this tank, I would say, at least for a month, just while I work out what that lump is on her fin. And assuming all is well, at the end of the month, she'll move out and move in with the other two Leopard Frog Plecos. So if you're interested in seeing how that goes, then make sure you are subscribed to follow me. And thank you again for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Have a great day as always, and I'll see you in the next one.